Good evening, everybody, and thank you for coming to an earlier time for tonight. It is Tuesday, January 22nd, 2019 at 6:30 p.m. I'm calling this meeting of the Common Council of the City of Wausau to order. We'll begin tonight's proceedings with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Please press yes to take roll call. We have 8 members present.
And moving forward for the pre-registered citizens for matters appearing on the agenda, there is somebody, Becky Constantine. Are you here this evening? Just want to read it into the record that we called for you. Okay, you are not here.
Thank you.
Then moving on to the consent agenda, starting with file number 19-0101, minutes of the previous meeting from January 8th, 2019, and ending with file number 010217 from the Plan Commission, a minute resolution petitioning the Secretary of Transportation for airport involvement aid and designation of the Secretary of Transportation to act as the city's agent for administering the aid and for the execution of agency agreement and federal block grant owner assurance. Entertain a motion to accept. Motion by Mrs. Rasmussen, second by Mr. Smith. Mrs. Tao.
Before this meeting, I had asked and requested for the file number 190101 to be pulled off the consent agenda, but maybe the mayor didn't get that email. I wanted to address it before the council goes into approving the consent agenda or separately the meeting minutes. So can I make that request now to pull that off the consent agenda? Or is it too late for my request?
No, anybody can ask for something to be pulled off consent.
Okay.
Just notifying me, and that's fine.
Okay, can we pull it off the consent agenda? Thank you.
So we do have a motion by Rasmussen, second by Smith, to vote on the consent agenda minus the minutes. You may begin voting. That motion has passed unanimously.
Moving on to resolutions and ordinances, starting now with file,
You
whoops,
want to do the minutes right now, the minutes that
Okay.
you just pulled out?
that's what I was going to do as far as the minutes, I'm sorry. File number 190101 of the City Council, the minutes of the previous meeting from January 8th, 2019. And I'll entertain a motion to accept. Motion by Mr. Nutting. Do I have a second? Second by Ms. Herbst. Go ahead, Mrs. Tao.
Thank you so much, Mayor. I didn't catch this at our last Common Council meeting on December 11th, I believe, if I have my dates here correctly. But at the December 11th meeting, we had in the consent agenda to approve the November 13th, 2018 meeting minutes. And I just caught it this time around for the minutes that we are looking to approve from January 8th of 2019. I want to share with all of you that I agree with all the open session minutes up until the comment that, or the minute that is stated about Tao exiting closed session, exiting before closed session deliberations. I believe that best practice, and after conferring with an attorney, I believe that that information should be documented in our closed session meeting minutes, because we took a motion to go into closed session, and it carried by majority vote. And at that time, then I exited the chambers here. So I would like for the city clerk and the city attorney and the mayor to validate if the appropriateness of recording that should be an open session or closed session. But based on what I heard from a reputable attorney in Wausau here, the practice would be to enter that information to your closed session meeting minutes. And I also do not agree with the open session meeting minutes when all of you came out of closed session. So in that situation, those two things that I just addressed, I will be abstaining from voting on the meeting minutes for January 8th, 2019.
Respectfully, I'm trying to grasp this. You left early, You weren't there as far as closed session, and yet you want us to explain this to me so I can grasp this a little better, please, and for other members of the council.
I don't think I'm hiding from anyone in regards to not going into closed session, so let's please put that out there as a fact. I think I addressed that statement a couple of months ago, that there are some concerns, and we haven't addressed those concerns, so I haven't been able to join all of you in closed session.
But
So-
that is your choice.
Correct, but you asked me for an explanation.
Okay, go ahead.
And so I'm stating that for the record for all of you, but I believe that once the motion carried for us to go into closed session by majority vote, we are automatically in closed session unless unless the minutes being recorded reflects that I need to physically be in that room behind us in order for that to be recorded. So I'm just asking for the appropriate place to record my exit, and so since I didn't get an answer right away, that's due to my fault for bringing this to the attention of the mayor and the city clerk and the city attorney right before this meeting. I apologize for that, but I got a response back from someone who is well aware of Robert's Rule of Order. I'm not trying to go ahead of Ann Jacobson. I'm just sharing that a best practice is for us to have that recorded in closed session. I could understand if I exited before we voted to go into closed session. So just some suggestions for the council members here and for our city staff and our mayor. Certainly, I'm not asking you to take action on that. I'm just stating my explanation on why I'm abstaining.
Okay, thank you for that, Mrs. Jacobson. Go ahead, and I'm also going to state this too. I am short as far as members tonight for a quorum, and I know somebody has to be somewhere roughly around 7 o'clock, so if we can, let's proceed further quickly.
Thank you, Mayor. Mary, you just finished after I raised my hand that you're not asking to change anything, and that was going to be my question to you, is if you're just stating a position or if you're making a motion to amend these minutes by removing that sentence from the open session minutes. You'd certainly be free to make that motion. If you get a second, we'll vote on it, and it would be removed if it passed by a majority, and then we could research your question.
As far as the vote for the meeting minutes, I will be abstaining. I was just giving an explanation. I'm not asking for a motion or amendment. I'm abstaining and stating some of the research that I've shared, that I've found, and wanted to share that with all of you, that I missed it in the last Common Council meeting where that same language was recorded about my exit. So I'm not trying to hide anything. It's very clear, and I just want all of you and those in the audience and those watching from home to understand. Thank you.
Thank you.
We have a motion by Mr. Nutting, second by Ms. Herbst. You may begin voting. That motion has passed 7-0 with one abstention.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to file number 19-0103 for the mayor's appointments. We have one for the Citizens Advisory Committee for the Community Development Block Grant, and this is Mr. Eiley Herr, who showed an interest in it. I have spoken with him. And attached is also his biography and any questions I could try to answer them. Otherwise, I'll entertain a motion to accept for this nomination. First by Mr. Neal, second by Mr. Nutting. Thank you.
Whoops. Begin voting, please. Whoops. I know, got to
So
turn that
announcing
off.
that we're here.
Motion passed unanimously.
File number 17-1109, resolution of the Finance Committee approving the budget modification for the election and electrical budget. Committee action approved 4-0, fiscal impact, no net increase in the budget. I'll entertain a motion to accept. Motion by Mrs. Rasmussen. Do I have a second? By Mr. Martins. Mrs. Tao.
I read the meeting minutes from this committee, and there was a section where Dennis Smith had asked Mary Ann where the reallocation, excuse me, of funds would be coming from, even though this wouldn't be a net increase to our budget. Did we get that answer? I didn't see it recorded in the meeting minutes.
Yes, it shows up. It shows up on the resolution itself. So the electrical one is coming from a different line item in their budget. So they're increasing their electrical supplies and taking the funds from electrical services. So the budget that they pay WPS out of. And then the election budget is coming out of refuse services.
Are you ready to vote, Ms. Tao? Can you take off your sign, please? All right, begin voting. Motion passed unanimously.
File number 18-0805, a resolution of the Finance Committee approving an agreement with Passport Labs Incorporated for mobile parking software service and electronic parking permits software service. Committee action approved 4-0. The fiscal impact will be $7,000 annually, variable based upon the app usage by the parking patrons. I'll entertain a motion to accept. Motion by Mr. Nutting. Do I have a second? Second by Ms. Herbst.
Begin voting. Motion passed unanimously.
File number 18-0805, another resolution of the Finance Committee approving an agreement with Portable Computer Systems Incorporated, PCS Mobile, to purchase parking enforcement license plate recognition software and hardware. Committee action approved 4-0. The fiscal impact will be $131,241.15. Purchase with maintenance for years 2 and 3. I'll entertain a motion to accept. Motion by Mr. Nutting, second by Ms. Rasmussen.
Begin voting. That motion has passed unanimously.
File number 02-1005, a resolution of the Finance Committee approving acquisition of 1107 Cleveland Avenue. Committee action approved 4-0. The fiscal impact will be $62,000. Entertain a motion to accept. Motion by Ms. Herbst, second by Mrs. Rasmussen.
Begin voting. That motion has passed 7-1.
File number 18-1109, a resolution of the Finance Committee approving the budget modification for Tax Increment District Number 6 for professional services related to street tree planning. Committee action approved 4-0. The fiscal impact will be $45,000. Entertain a motion to accept. Motion by Mr. Nutting. Do I have a second? By Mr. Smith. Thank you.
Begin voting. Motion passed unanimously.
And the next two items, file number 14-0707 has been pulled from tonight's agenda due to more information being needed, so we will also not have to do suspend of the rules.
Did we skip the dog park? Just right above it.
I guess we
18.
did.
1110. There it is.
It's because it's all stapled together. My bad. Okay, then, my apologies. File number 18-110, Parks and Rec, a resolution designating 224 South 4th Street as a site for the Wausau Urban Dog Park and authorizing members of the Dog Park Special Committee to fundraise for the project. Committee action approved 5-0. Fiscal impact, 0 if all funds are raised. Approximate cost of the project is $148,000. Operational expenses will be approximately $1,000 a year. Entertain a motion to accept. Motion by Mr. Neal. Second by Ms. Herbst.
Begin voting. Motion passed unanimously.
And again, like I said about file number 140707 is being pulled from tonight because not enough information is available, so we will suspend the rules. Do we have enough time?
For comment? Yes, and we will be reconvening into open session.
Okay, excellent. Ma'am, are you Becky Constantine? No, you're not. Okay. Hey, I want to make sure everybody gets a chance to speak. So at this point, I will accept somebody reading the closed session. If somebody would volunteer, please.
I'll volunteer.
Thank you.
I'll move that we go into closed session pursuant to Section 19.85, Paragraph 1, Sub G of the Wisconsin statutes for the purpose of conferring with legal counsel for the governmental body who is rendering oral or written advice concerning strategy to be adopted by the body with respect to litigation in which it is or is likely to become involved for the purpose of conferring with legal counsel regarding a petition for contested case hearing and a petition for judicial review for case number 19CV32 regarding Wisconsin Pollutant Discharge Elimination System Permit number WI-0025739-09-0.
Do I have a second? Second by Mr. Nutting. Mrs. Tao?
So I will be voting no on going into closed session, but I will walk into the physical room in the back, and I ask that we record into the closed session meeting minutes when I do exit from the physical room in the back. Thank you.
So noted.
Begin voting, please. Motion passed, 7-1.
And we will be coming back in an open session when this is completed. Thank you.
We're ready to go, so yeah, the recorder's on, sir.
And we do not have enough members ready for a quorum, so at this point, I'm adjourning the meeting. Thank you, everybody. Have a great night.